featured is. Like, we have some really, really strange shit on this planet. Like, it would make sense if you're going to the strangest places in the universe to start with the weird shit that we actually know on this planet. Like, we actually know very, very little about outer space. Everything that we know about outer space beyond like the moon and Mars and shit in our immediate neighborhood is basically pure conjecture and speculation. It's still cool and dope to think about though, but like I want to see Antarctica. I want to see what's deep up under the ocean. Oh, by the way, Trump says that we can mine the ocean now. Yeah, there's shit down there. There's animals down there, like prehistoric shit that will probably fuck up whatever we send down there. But hey, as long as billionaires can get richer and richer and richer, right? Who gives a fuck? Hey, a red gas giant. I wonder if it's full of communists that are suspended in the atmosphere. Hellish lava planets. Ooh, that's a glimpse into our future. That's where we're gonna send all the white people. You guys got to work on your tan. That's where we're sending you. It's for your own good. Why do so many people ignore the crimes of the Dutch and their colonial possessions? Like, man, most people don't even know that the Dutch controlled modern day Indonesia. It's been memory hold. Like, when you think about the Netherlands today, what do you think of? You think of weed and you think of tulips and you think of stroopwafels. You don't think of massive colonial empires. They also made a shitload of money. Like, people think that only the Brits had slaves. No, the French had slaves, the Swedes even. Like, they had the Swedes and Danes had trading posts on the coast of West Africa, where they were heavily involved in slave traffic. Like even if they didn't have slave colonies, they trafficked in slaves. And the Scandinavians were also really, really good at making chains. Yep, Scandinavian blacksmiths cleaned up like bandits off the slave trade. Every part of Western Europe and Northern Europe was involved in the slave trade. Every single part. Nobody is innocent. It vaporized the rock atmosphere, scorching beyond 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. I do not acknowledge metric measurements, European measurements. Can melt nearly anything. Well, I guess Fahrenheit is a European measurement too. I'm dumb. Can it melt steel beams? I don't think 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit can melt steel beams. I believe the Portuguese started that. Oh, how cute. How kawaii, how demure. Water worlds. There's like one little island chilling out up here. Ooh. Clouds look like fucking mountains. That's dope. Hi, I know you're in DSA and when you're wondering why I don't join PSL since it's more up my alley. If you think PSL is up my alley, then you really don't know all that much about my politics. PSL, like I have a lot of friends that are in PSL, and SDL DSA works very closely with PSL, but I consider PSL a modern revisionist party with a Trotskyite, Marxiste heritage. If you don't know what that means, congratulations. You are a normal person and you spend a decent amount of time outside. But it's funny. Like, I constantly run into people from PSL who don't know that their party has a Trotskyite heritage. I could totally live here. No, actually, I cannot totally live there. That water would drive me insane. Just an endless horizon of blue or purple. No, a lot of people that call themselves Marxist-Leninists are on PSL, but no, they have a Trotskyist heritage. They're derived from, well, they're a split from the Workers' World Party, which, if I recall correctly, is currently on its last leg. But anyways, they split from this party, I believe, in 2004 over fallout from the Answer Coalition and Iraq War protests. So yeah, the Workers' World Party was founded by a guy named Sam Marcy, who was a who developed his own form of Trotskyism. Yeah. Oh, boring. What's next? Chthonian planets. What's that? A gas a giant too close by its star may lose its atmosphere over time. So your whole atmosphere is peeled off and your core is left behind. It's basically a little bitty ass molten rock floating in space. Bare airless cores of gas giants. So I guess if Jupiter gets too close to our sun, or Saturn, or any of the other gas giants, this is what's going to result. You guys know what the future fate of Earth is, right? Eventually the sun is going to like expand and it's basically going to burn us the fuck up and we're going to be like the moon. We're just going to be an empty nothing of shattered and burned up regolith. Well, eventually the sun is going to swallow the Earth, but before it's going to expand and the Earth is going to basically burn the fuck up. Like there's no way to stop this unless we find out a way to stop the expansion of the sun. But yeah, everybody you've known, everything you've known, all the history you've studied, everything is just going to be reduced to ash and crumbled regolith, basically just dust. It's just if you could go to Earth like several 100 billion years in the future, that's what this is going to look like. No more oceans, no more nothing. Even our remains are going to be buried under innumerable layers of dust and dirt and debris. Like you wouldn't even be able to know that people once lived here. And yes, because we keep fucking around, Earth will most likely have been long destroyed. Well, here's the thing. Humans will have been destroyed by climate change. The Earth is actually quite resilient. The Earth has suffered innumerable catastrophes. Like the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs. The Earth bounced back from that. But see, humans are so narcissistic that we think that whatever happens to us happens to the Earth. No, the Earth is gonna be cool. We ain't gonna be cool. Extremely hot Jupiters. Extreme heat and violent storms. Sounds like Florida. glass or iron rain to supersonic winds. I imagine glass rain would be cool to look at, but obviously really, really, really shitty to be trapped in. Well, technically it would be quite hard because I'm very smart. I'm an astrologer. I'm an astronomer. I'm an astronomer officer. Rogue planets, Maoist planets, renegade planets, right opportunist planets. Hey, it's black, just like me. Wakanda in space. They've been ejected from their original galaxy, so these are basically the Dingai planets after they've gotten kicked out of the Chinese Communist Party by the Gang of Four. Planets have line struggles too, don't you know? And wander endlessly through space, never seeing the sunrise. So basically, these planets are mainless virgins. Gotcha. The man-made planets. Supercritical planets. So basically, the planets are Maoists. Maoists are supercritical. Neither fully gas nor liquid, but something in between. How dialectical. Perfect environment for Maoists. Ooh, Las Vegas? Let's go to every planet in the solar system. What if we achieve global communism, but we meet alien space Nazis? Well, I imagine we would have to destroy them. Too white. A single day lasts longer than Venus's entire year. Fascinating. What is BRG reading? I'm getting really into indigenous horror. I read a book called Never Whistle at Night. It's basically like an anthology of indigenous short horror stories, and it got me kind of hooked on the genre. So Stephen Graham Jones, he's basically the seminal author of that genre. I'm halfway through The Only Good Indians. Is basically about why you don't butcher elk that you're not supposed to. And then, like, yeah, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just like you all are basically already half spoiled sinners for me. I'm going to see it tonight, but I don't believe in spoilers. And then I have the Buffalo Hunter, which I have not started. But yeah, I read a lot of military shit, but sometimes you need to decompress and chill. And just cuddle up with a good novel. That also has the bonus of scaring the shit out of you. see the sun rise or set. I bet vampires would love this place. Earth. Hey, I know that place. Looks like a fucking Windows XP. Looks like a fucking Windows background. You started reading Blood Meridian, it's pretty wholesome. I still haven't done Killers of the Flower Moon. I'm gonna check that out later. The Earth's rotation is gradually slowing, making our days slightly longer over time. Mars. Elon Musk's gulag. Oh, the day on Mars is 37 minutes longer than ours. It says IO that you cannot go into gas giants without getting like blown apart. Then you have to like basically go to their moons. You can colonize the moons, you cannot colonize the gas giants. You're reading The End of History by Francis Fukuyama. Why? Why are you torturing yourself? Isn't that book like kryptonite for communists? Having eclipse every day. Imagine that would get boring as fuck. What would dying on every planet be like?
If you landed on Venus, this hot planet would crush you like a plastic bottle. It would be painful, but don't worry, it would only last 5 seconds. The longest 5 seconds of your life. And just wait till you see what happens on Mars. It's unsettling. Venus has an extremely dense atmosphere, and with that dense atmosphere, after 1 second, your suit's integrity would be compromised. You'd be trapped in the imploding spacesuit with no way out. And that's when your body would begin to collapse.
Whoa.
In the next 2 seconds, your skin and muscles would compress, your blood vessels would pop, your organs would fail. Finally, you'd lose consciousness, and just like that, you'd be gone. Venus looks like a beautiful place, but it's deadly. And being crushed by extreme pressure is just one of the many ways you'd die here. Remember the dense Venusian atmosphere? Well, not only does it create crushing pressure, but it also generates the greenhouse effect. Yeah, Venus is hot, instantly boiling your insides kind of hot. Even if you could somehow withstand all that bone-crushing pressure, the heat would get you.
Oh yeah, this feels hot, like being toasted. Like bread being toasted.
Like bread being toasted.
You guys know what toast is.
Warning, internal temperature rising.
The surface temperature on Venus reaches 465 degrees Celsius.
Me going to Texas.
That's almost as hot as the lava coming out of Earth's volcanoes. You'd be feeling the effect of this intense heat within seconds. After 1 minute, your internal temperature would start rising. Cue heat exhaustion.
What if, Guy, I don't feel so good.
Body temperature, 40 degrees Celsius and rising.
At this point, you'd experience nausea, fatigue, and extreme sweating. Your internal organs would start to overheat.
It's getting dark. It's dark.
After 10 minutes, you'd lose consciousness. Now you just have minutes left before suffering brain damage and complete cardiac arrest. On this planet, heat stroke is no joke. Nothing's a joke here, really. The Venusian air is unbreathable. It's made up of 96.5% carbon dioxide and 3.5% nitrogen. Which means taking just one breath of this atmosphere
Why'd you take your helmet off, you idiot?
would suffocate you. And if that's not enough, Venus's sulfuric rain would corrode your spacesuit and burn your skin. As far as the survival situation on Venus goes, it's a
Well, I
1
guess we should be glad that the Soviets didn't actually send people up there.
out of 10. Would not recommend. Now this is Mercury.
The closest planet to the sun, like I haven't just suffered a massive heat incineration already? Come on, what if guy?
Well, Mercury has a little secret.
It's called Mercury. That's why it's called Mercury, because you get murked there.
It's actually extremely freezing. At least on the night side.
Surface temperature minus 180 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, of course. I knew that. Everybody knows that. And here, I'll let you in on a little secret. What if Explorers Club on Patreon is on a roll? That's right, get
Shut up
active.
and die.
Without sun, you'll be okay. You could
Fucking sell me shit.
walk around and explore the planet.
Yeah, Rico, there's like a little numbness in my fingers. Is that normal?
Numbness in the extremities indicates the early stages of hypothermia.
Nah, I'm okay. It's like minus 180 degrees here, you know? Of course it's a little chilly. What a shocker.
You'll be fine. You're white.
Hypothermia would take a little time to kick in. It starts with a tingling feeling in your fingers, then suddenly you begin
Right, little spaceship thing is right there. Go get back in it.
to shiver.
I'm starting to think this person is just a masochist.
Yeah, I don't feel any shivers. Okay. Maybe I feel a few shivers, but it's not that bad.
Warning, your body temperature has dropped to 35 degrees Celsius.
Can't feel my fingers.
And like, there's no, like, you have this fucking spacesuit that enables you to survive for a few minutes on these extremely hostile planets. There's nothing within the spacesuit to help you ameliorate that. Like, they just sent you out there to raw dog it. That's essentially what they're doing to you. Like, what the fuck did you do on Earth to be punished this way? What are my thoughts on left comms? I don't have any. I try not to think about them.
After 10 minutes
Extremely bad people. The left comms are not good people.
in this extreme
I don't think about bad people.
cold,
I think about how to destroy bad people. But the thing is, left comms are so irrelevant. They're not, like, what exactly do they do besides complain and whine? Like, the meme, it's literally that they just sit in armchairs all day. Like, when it's time to show up to the barricades, they're gonna bring the armchairs with them. Like, that's the meme about left comms. Who cares? Part of your right as a human being is the right to be stupid.
you'd barely be able to move.
Warning, core body temperature
So basically, all the spacesuit does is warn you that you're finna die.
at 32 degrees Celsius. Return to the spaceship immediately.
Your muscles would feel stiff. You'd feel confused and cold.
Put that white boy in a situation.
There was at least 102 Dalmatians.
You'd feel extremely disoriented. Everything would
Average SpaceX experience. Like, people were talking about Katy Perry and all those other people going up to space, Gail King and all them. Like, they did not go to space. Like, they're not actually sending these people outside of Earth's atmosphere. You're going to upper sky. You are paying millions of dollars to go to upper sky. It's just it's a hustle. It's a grift. It's a scam. That's what it is. You're not going to space for real.
slow down for you. But you wouldn't die. Not yet.
Warning, core body temperature now 20.
I'm watching these videos to find out where we're going to send all the reactionaries after the revolution. Like, which place offers up the most painful, horrible death?
28 degrees Celsius.
Even now, you'd still be alive. You could barely function, but you're alive. It would take about 60 minutes for Mercury's dark side to kill you.
Yeah. I'm my vote goes for Mercury's dark side. You're gonna suffer.
Slow, cold, and painful. But hey, at least you'd get to see some of Mercury's views before you collapsed from the extreme cold.
What views? It's just fucking little hills.
I'd give Mercury's night side a 3 out of 10. But Mercury has a day side too, and it's burning hot.
No shit. You're literally like 2 fucking inches from the sun on a universal scale.
The temperature here hits 427 degrees Celsius. Just of it, the moment you stepped out of your spaceship, your body would start overheating. If you didn't have the protection of your spacesuit, your skin would immediately get radiation burns.
My hands! My hands are burning! Ah!
It wouldn't be pretty. All that radiation would quickly damage your DNA. It takes
It's alright. Colonizers already have damaged DNA.
1/1000th of a second to kick off that process. Within the next hour, your cells would mutate and die. So make sure to wear a spacesuit, no matter how hot it feels.
Danger. Core body temperature increased to 39 degrees Celsius.
Bill Nye was a prick. I actually met Bill Nye at my when I was in college, and I said, "Hey, Mr. Nye, I was a big fan of you when I was a kid." Fucker walked right past me. That's why I try to be an accessible internet micro celebrity, because I don't want to be an asshole like Bill Nye.
5 minutes of these burning conditions, you'd begin to feel the effects of hyperthermia. If your suit's cooling system were to fail, you'd experience an amount of heat you've never felt in your life.
Oh, God, it burns! My hands! Oh, it's like they're on fire! Oh, it's exactly like they're on fire!
This sudden
Why does he keep getting out walking around? All he has to do is stay in the spaceship and chill. He's doing this to himself.
overheating would make you nauseous.
That's too. What if we put the reactionaries onto the sun? No, that's too easy. Too easy, too quick, too smooth.
After 10 minutes, you'd be like a piece of toast. Your body temperature would hit 42 degrees Celsius, and if you've ever had a fever like that, you'd know at this point, you'd be in delirium.
I swear, there were 103 Dalmatians. Everywhere! Dalmatians everywhere!
Exactly like that.
Rico, are you a Dalmatian?
Your muscles would become weak, and your organs would start to shut down. Now you'd be unconscious, in the middle of having heat stroke and being blasted by radiation.
Oh, this is
At
a series?
this point, you wouldn't have long. Hot side of Mercury rates a 2 out of 10 from me.
Now it's Mars.
Right,
Let's see what Elon Musk's future holds.
let's look at Mars. The red planet sounds a lot more promising. Where else in the
Of course it is. It's red. Red is always promising for a communist.
solar system would you want to establish a human base? Well, not so fast. Mars sits just outside the
It'd be funny as fuck if he did Earth and it was just you getting shot.
sun's habitable zone. It doesn't have water or a magnetosphere. Its atmosphere is incredibly thin. It's not a place you could settle into comfortably.
What do you mean? Ours is great.
That is, until you try to breathe on it. On Mars, the air is mostly made up of carbon dioxide. You'd have to keep your spacesuit on at all times, because if you didn't, you'd die.
Spacesuit breach detected.
It only takes a minor suit malfunction for Mars to kill you. The first few seconds of inhaling the air on Mars would feel confusing.
What's confusing about this? I'm dying!
You'd be gasping for oxygen and starting to breathe more rapidly. At the same time, your breached spacesuit would start to decompress, and that would be truly awful. The atmospheric pressure on Mars is only 0.6% of what you have on Earth.
Yeah, in Halo there were communist Martian revolts before they even knew about the Covenant. There was you also had fascists, the Kosloviches and the Friedens, I believe they were called. The Friedens were the fascists. Yeah, there was a civil war on Mars between communists and fascists.
As soon as your spacesuit gave in, all the pressure inside it, the pressure keeping you alive, would escape.
Warning. Danger of ebulism. Warning.
Ebulism is what happens next. As your suit's pressure suddenly dropped, your body would experience painful, blood-boiling conditions. You see, your blood and other bodily fluids have gases inside them. Exposed to the low-pressure environment on Mars, these gases would boil. Your skin would swell and puff up. After about 7 minutes, you'd be dead. This is going to be pretty graphic. Somebody put a warning on the screen. Mars would give you hope, and then gruesomely kill you the first chance it got. It's not that those storms are strong, they're not, but the dust particles are so fine that they get into your spacesuit easily and scratch it from the inside.
Oh man, what?
And scratch your corneas too, make you fucking blind. So you're dying in darkness.
Matt Damon can do this, so can I. Come on!
I believe Bethesda is under a BDS boycott. No, I will not be playing Oblivion on stream.
These fine particles would clog your air filters and do all kinds of damage to your equipment. From cutting off your life support systems to knocking out your heat regulation.
Warning. 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 Oxygen system failure.
That spacesuit is fucking useless. All it does is let you know how you finna die. Warning. Warning. Your ass dead.
Well, that's Mars for you. I give it a 6 out of 10 just for the epicness of this whole death situation. Oh, and for...
Is it possible to extract resources from Mars? Well, under a socialist program of economic central planning, then yes, anything is possible.
giving you a chance
I mean, it's not like there's indigenous people there.
to live here.
It's an empty planet. I don't think the microbes will care all that much.
Just maybe not for too long.
I'd give
This dude needs to stay the fuck out of space.
Mars a 0.
Of the pressure we feel on Earth.
Capsule systems are stable.
Some 50 kilometers below Jupiter's clouds, you'd feel serious turbulence. Wind here would be strong, reaching up to 360 kilometers per hour.
Static buildup detected in the atmosphere.
As these chaotic winds violently...
I'm sitting there, what the fuck did this dude do on Earth to basically be a test subject for how many horrible ways are there to die in the solar system?
battered you through the storm clouds, the lightning bolts would strike too close for comfort. The atmosphere around you would be highly charged. And then one of these bolts would strike the capsule head on. This massive lightning would release enough energy to power a city or two. But for your capsule, it would be game over. The electrical systems would fail, the oxygen supply would fail, and the temperature inside the capsule would drop significantly. You'd now be trapped inside a powerless, leaking capsule surrounded by a deadly storm. I give Jupiter a 5 out of 10. Could recommend. Majestic. Saturn is the second largest planet in the solar system, and just like Jupiter, it's a gas giant made up of hydrogen and helium with no solid surface. Deep
Yeah, this dude definitely did something.
down in its cloud,
Good people don't end up out in the fucking wide universe being tortured to death.
the unimaginable per hour.
They gave him a fucking Apollo era spacesuit and were just like, good luck, bro.
What makes Saturn the most marvelous planet in this planetary hood is also what makes it dangerous on approach. Saturn's ring.
Weren't they fighting a war on Europa or something? I saw people on Twitter talking about it. I imagine it's from some anime or some other degenerate bullshit.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I see them all right.
These rings are made up of billions of small chunks of ice and rock, ranging from grains of...
I actually don't think anime is degenerate. I actually think that anime has contributed a lot to the psyche of the growing American male.
Dust to icy chunks the size of a house. Saturn has had its
How big is the house?
rings for a few 100 million years, and it'll have them for the next few 100 million years until these icy rocks rain down on the gas giant. The thing is, these rings move extremely fast, like 70,000 kilometers per hour fast. If you're not careful, your ship might just crash into them. Saturn gets an 8 out of 10. And it can kill you in many ways.
Uranus can kill you in many ways.
One way to go on Uranus would be to suffocate in its gases.
Oh, not the fart gases! Oh.
Close enough. 2% of the Uranian atmosphere is methane, a gas that's toxic to humans. Now, 2% might not sound like a whole lot, but it's concentrated enough to kill you within minutes. Maybe Uranian high-speed particles moving at 900 kilometers per hour eroded your suit. Or extreme temperatures of minus 224 degrees Celsius made it...
Okay, this is boring. He's not going through enough. Huh. There's a lot of interesting what ifs. What if you lived in prehistoric Australia?
Welcome to Prehistoric Australia, a place that was filled with dangerous and terrifying megafauna.
So basically the same as it is today, except now it's microfauna. Now it's little bitty ass snakes and spiders that kill you.
This was a time of giant kangaroos, mega marsupial lions, super long snakes, and terrifying birds. If you think Australia is scary today, just wait until we go back 100,000 years. Almost everything wanted you dead. But humans did manage to live side by side with these creatures and survive. But how? In this episode, we'll explore how humans survived during this era and whether or not we were the cause of these creatures' extinctions. This is What If, and here's what would happen if you lived in prehistoric Australia.
You die.
You've arrived in the midst of the late Pleistocene era, which ran from 126,000 to
Who worked in the IDF? This guy? I hope not.
12,000 years ago. Once you land on the Australian shores, you'll be met with some massive and terrifying beasts. Let's take a look at some of the
Oh, you mean the guy in a spacesuit that keeps getting tortured? Yeah, I can see it.
most terrifying ones. Don't look now, but behind you is the Diprotodon, the biggest marsupial that ever roamed the earth. This particular
Hey, I know like 5 people that look like that fucker.
specimen is coming in at 3.8 meters long and 1.8 meters high. It weighs as much as a car. Its
I know a dude that looks like him too.
big head comes with an enormous mouth, powerful jaws, and upper incisors the size of bananas. It uses all these to maintain its diet, but would that include you? Well, good news, you'll be safe from this guy because
The cybertruck. It's supposed to have a wade mode that lets you like go across little creeks and rivers and shit. At the range I used to go to, It's like way out in the middle of fucking nowhere. A comrade, the comrade I was riding with, he he had like a little sob. Apparently the like intake valve or whatever is like at the bottom of the car. So you cannot drive across the fucking river. And we got trapped in the fucking creek. And I was thinking about that when I heard about the Cybertruck's Wade mode. I thought, oh, that sounds dope. That sounds cool. Somebody actually tried it, and the police and some redneck with the fucking chain on his truck had to come pull the Cybertruck out. Honestly, I would have left his ass there, but yeah.
The Diprotodon is a herbivore, one that eats an unbelievable amount of fibrous plant matter, including branches, leaves, shrubs, and stems. Up to 100 kilograms of plant matter on a daily basis. This binge eating had a huge impact on the environment, but in a good way. The Diprotodon would eat and then, of course, poop, dispersing plant seeds far and wide. Because this creature ate so much food, it needed to have a pretty massive head. If it hadn't been for one odd
Before Elon Musk was busy spreading Nazi conspiracy theories on Twitter, he was hard at work designing the vehicle of the future, the Tesla Cybertruck, a cyberpunk-themed rolling stock laughing out of the Tesla factory. No, wait, the other way around. Haters might say things like, it looks like a stupid boomer's idea of the future.
No, it looks like a fucking preschooler's idea of the future. Like this literally looks like something I would draw in fucking kindergarten.
This is a horrible.
Like if you wrote, like if the prompt was draw a car from the future, this is what 5-year-old me would draw.
Unsafe vehicle with sharp edges that isn't even good at being a pickup truck, but my god, is it a marvel of engineering. The Cybertruck is chock full of never-before-seen innovations coming from Musk himself, who promised to put a man on Mars by 2021. The windshield wiper. Tesla patented 2 revolutionary innovations for this. A horizontal-only electromagnetic wiper and one based on laser technology. Fast forward to release day and it's a regular wiper, but bigger. Elon Musk does it again. The exoskeleton body. It basically means the truck is cast as one big, single piece, and the side panels and the like are part of the car's actual load-bearing structure as opposed to just hanging the panels on a unibody frame. This leads to a more durable structure and, most importantly, significantly lower weight, which is a huge deal with large electric pickups. An exoskeleton instead of a conventional unibody is one of the main innovations of the Cybertruck. Well, it was until they scrapped the idea and went back to a traditional unibody instead. Throttle House, a car-themed YouTube channel for divorced men, actually got to review the Cybertruck by driving it for 500 miles. Their video is concerning, to say the least, in terms of the details we learn about the Cybertruck. The headlights are pointing upward.
So it basically tries to make up for all these dangerous-ass features, like dangerous-ass design flaws, by including a bunch of high-tech bullshit in it.
Blinding oncoming drivers instead of shining on the road. The rear camera stops working.
Whose idea was it to create a truck that looks like PS1 graphics? Elon Musk's. It's his. It was his idea. He is responsible for every death caused by the Cybertruck.
At night. When closing the door, the entire car vibrates.
Okay. Everything vibrates. Yeah, everything vibrates.
We developed a new material. We called it vibranium.
The driver's field of view is a major hazard. The interior is very cheap and creaky. The ride is also rather bumpy. There are no gauges on the dashboard or stalks on the wheel, so you always have to look to the right at the touchscreen for everything. And then there is my...
Oh!
Hold on, it gets better.
4 carrots in one go.
Yeah.
Which is a whole hand.
Yeah, so yeah, definitely the hand of a child, but I think it would take off the fingers of a full-grown adult.
So the thing would chop your fucking fingers off.
But wait, the car also has a vegetable peeler feature.
Oh my god.
So if you bump your fucking knee into that thing, it's going to take off, it's going to rip you down to the bone.
That's just the edge of the door.
Vegetable prep.
Now that's what I call quality engineering. All for the low price of 40,000 Tesla dollars, also known as 61,000 US dollars, for the plain base model. Oh, but who am I to judge an unexpected...
But you can fucking No wonder the people that are obsessed with these things don't have any kids.
52.5% or $21,000 price increase. After all, Elon Musk knows more about manufacturing than anyone else on Earth.
At this point, I think I know more about manufacturing than anyone currently alive on Earth.
Which really showed during the 2023 third quarter investor call. The Cybertruck is also gigantic. You know those needlessly huge pickup trucks? The ones that in Europe only trashy yet affluent assholes drive? Yeah, those ones. Like the Ford F-150. This version is called Super Crew 5.5 Raptor because it's marketed towards divorced, middle-aged men who think they're a modern-day Clint Eastwood or something. They aren't. Look at how unnecessarily huge the F-150 is. This will surely attract their daughter's 17-year-old best friend. Well, the Cybertruck is even bigger, 8 centimeters wider at 2.2 meters, which is half a meter wider than a regular car. And for this gargantuan size you get basically no storage space. Look at that, you can't even fit in a regular sized bicycle. On this pickup truck, it has about the same bed size as the Subaru Sambar, a micro truck compared to this 3-ton monstrosity. Also in terms of range, the Cybertruck is pretty disappointing.
And imagine getting into an accident with one of those motherfuckers.
The guys at Throttle House managed to get 462 kilometers out of it on a full charge while driving it down from an elevation of 610 meters to sea level. So a pretty advantageous trip in terms of getting range out of your car. But their 462 kilometers is still 53 kilometers less than the advertised 515 kilometers range and 342 kilometers less than the original range promised by Musk back then, which was 804 kilometers or 500 miles. That was the promised range for the type these guys got to try, which is the biggest, meanest version of the Cybertruck with the longest range, called the Cyber Beast. So named because Elon Musk himself is a divorced dad. Also, have you ever wondered why we don't build cars with untreated stainless steel exteriors? Would you like to guess why we put multiple protective layers on the metal panels covering our vehicles? Is it just for fun? Or is there something outside the showroom which warrants such protective layers? Mr. Musk, Mr. Billionaire Genius, Vibranium, Neuralink, Tesla, Mars, 420 Jewish Question Rocket Man. May I present to you the concept of weather. So yeah, the Cybertruck is prone to rusting. As to how to prevent that, according to the official manual, immediately remove bird droppings, tree sap, grease, oil, tar, road salt and dead insects, otherwise they'll stay in your car. Do not use hot water during washing because it can stay in your car. Do not use certain car shampoos because they can stay in your car. And do not wash your car in direct sunlight because it can stay in your car. Unsurprisingly, multiple Cybertruck owners began reporting rusty stains.
So you basically take the equivalent of a fucking cheap ass Walmart pots and pans set, turn it into a truck, if you can even call this monstrosity that, and then you put it outside and you drive around in it and you act surprised when it rusts.
On their vehicles almost
So look, if you live in Florida, set your pots and pans outside, see what happens.
Immediately, some of them after just 11 days. But hey, thankfully Tesla...
Yeah, because normies aren't stupid enough. This is a meme drop. Like, normies are not stupid enough to buy something like this.
Can't put a protective layer on your Cybertruck after all. That would be...
All you gotta do is take my fucking car-obsessed crackhead uncle, take him for one look at this, and be like, hell no, you ain't getting in that shit. Hell no, we ain't buying that shit. What the fuck is wrong with you?
$5,000 extra, please. If this video so far has convinced you to buy a Cybertruck, first off, I'm sure your caretaker will love hearing all about your little plans. Second, get ready for an apparent wait time of 13 years, because according to Tesla, 2 million people put down a deposit, with the current rate of production being about 150,000 Cybertrucks per year, theoretically anyway. Now to be fair, the rate will increase to a maximum of 250,000 per year according to Musk. If they could magically get to that number,
the raccoons got into the Cybertruck and tore it to pieces, thinking it is a garbage can. It's an extremely dangerous, like, I'm still tripping off. You can peel fucking carrots and potatoes with your door.
Tomorrow, that would mean a...
So if you have a little kid, you try to lift a little kid into the Cybertruck and he fucking scrapes his knee on the side of the door, it's going to take it all the way down to the fucking bone.
Near 8-year wait time for your Cybertruck.
On the other hand, nobody with kids is stupid enough to get a Cybertruck.
If you put down the money today.
At this point, I think I know more about manufacturing than anyone currently alive on Earth.
But this man is our shadow president.
Aside from the ridiculous engineering, the disastrous tech solutions, and the fact that the vehicle looks extremely stupid, the Cybertruck has a bigger, more fundamental issue. Namely, who is this thing really for? Who are the target
idiots?
Consumer group. The Peugeot 308 is for regular people who want to get around. The Cadillac Escalade is for people terrified of minorities. The Dodge Ram and the Ford F-150...
Do you have any idea how many minorities have Escalades?
...are for divorced dads.
Like, bruh. You were not rich and black in the mid 2000s if you did not have an Escalade.
fantasizing about their daughter's underage
I think they have a heavy rollover risk though.
best friend. The Cybertruck? Let's see. A $61,000 to $100,000 pickup truck marketed with nuclear explosion resistant windows, wait never mind, and steel side panels that can stop arrows and also bullets, all wrapped in a weird, cringy, nerdy science fiction aesthetic. So your target buyer is someone who is affluent, a sci-fi nerd, and a doomsday prepper. And so, question, how many affluent sci-fi nerd doomsday preppers have you met before? I'm sure there are some, but does this demographic warrant taking 4 years of development time away from Tesla and occupying production lines to churn out Cybertrucks instead of regular models? Tesla's latest model, the Model Y, is now half a decade old. Why not focus on that and the others instead? The cars people actually want, as opposed to a PlayStation 1 game vehicle for tech fetishist dipshits with too much disposable income. I think I know the reason why. The whole Cybertruck affair screams Elon Musk pet project to me. Namely, Musk just showed up one day to the office and was like, here's the thing I drew on toilet paper. Now make it into a epic sci-fi truck. Also, I ripped out the sink while tripping on ketamine. You'll have to fix that too. And so the engineers got on the job, having to work within the limitations of Musk's stupid idea, unable to change the car fundamentally. If this was indeed the case, it would explain all the stupid solutions within and without. Borderline hazardous driver's field of view cannot be fixed.
How many of y'all are DSA nerds waiting for me to talk about the fucking Liberation Caucus?
The boss wants this exact car shape. Gauges behind the steering wheel for quick and safe information access? Nope, sorry, the boss wants just one big screen on the dashboard. Sure, putting untreated stainless steel panels on a vehicle is a very impractical idea, and
honestly, like, the people that are stupid enough to buy this shit, they deserve what's going to happen. They deserve to have their fingers and hands lopped off. They deserve to get in horrible, horrible wrecks. They deserve it. Like, you have to be an idiot to buy this type of thing. You have to. Like, and this is also like, America's not a meritocracy. If we were a meritocracy, stupid people would not have enough money to buy things like this.
and fitting them
People that actually thought that this was a good idea, they would not be in any position of power. But America is not a meritocracy.
together correctly is basically impossible, plus you have to wipe your entire car constantly with window cleaner apparently, otherwise it'll get stained, but Elon Musk said stainless steel panels, so it has to be that way. By the way, the Cybertruck steel panels aren't even bulletproof. I know this because Aiden Ross tried shooting at it. Aiden Ross is a Cybertruck owner, as if the car needed any more bad press. If you don't know who Aiden Ross is, good for you.
Twitch versus live, the biggest dick in the world. Obviously, I'm talking. You know girls don't like big dicks, right?
Shut up and listen.
Alright, well, that's enough of that idiocy. Fascinating. Jewish students being screamed at for attending a lecture at Yale. I wonder who was giving the lecture.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Palestine will be free. From the sea.
Okay, here's the thing. This whole victimization narrative, you have people in this country that are literally being, like, this country literally deported a 2-year-old American citizen. And these people are going to go see Ben Gvir. If you don't know who Ben Gvir is, he's like literally Hitler too. Like a very, very shitty person. He basically wants to glass Gaza. Like scrape it entirely clean of people and any sign that people ever lived there. Basically a horrible, nasty person, but he was allowed to come give a speech at Yale. These guys are going to see him. Mind you, these are adults, okay? Black kids and regular ass interactions with the police, many, many times out of 10, they end up getting hurt. They end up dying, or they end up in prison for something that they did not do. And we're expected to feel sympathy for these grown ass people going to see a war criminal. This whole victimization, it's not working anymore. It's not. This whole guilt trip bullshit. Like, stop doing fucked up shit. Like, if this was Louis Farrakhan in this building, would people like be denouncing the protesters? Of course not. And they're not saying anything anti-Semitic. I guarantee you a substantial percentage of this crowd out here is anti-Zionist Jewish people. Like Nature Carter, they show up to everything like this. So you're ignoring contradictions within the Jewish community because a lot of younger Jewish people, they do not like the fact that their religion and their culture, their thousands of year old culture, is being used to justify the mass murder of innocent fucking people. That's not what Judaism is about. That's what Zionism is about. And many, many Jewish people have said, like, this is not us. This is not what our ancestors fought for. This is not what we went through the Holocaust for. We did not go through the Holocaust to enact another Holocaust. Like Ben Gvir's buddies probably sent more Israelis to stupid, useless, nonsensical deaths than anyone. Like, if yelling shame hurts your feelings and gets you in, and here's the thing, you cannot, one of the good things, the very few good things about living in this shithole is that we have freedom of speech. Like, I can literally go out and advocate for Maoism. Okay? So you cannot use your own freedom of speech to try to deny it to others. That's wrong. That's fucked up and that's hypocritical. If people have the right to walk around in KKK and Nazi uniforms and all types of other stupid shit, and you have the right to invite this asshole to come to the United States and give a speech, then those people have the right to stand out on the curb and be like, hey, this is fucked up. Here's what this guy has done. We don't want this guy on our campus. But no. And I believe this was the same night that they suspended Yaleys for Palestine. Yeah, they're not doing anything wrong. Like, are not safe from my people are not safe from physical violence at the hands of police and vigilantes in this country, and you're whining about a few people yelling at you. Maybe don't do shit to get yelled at. Like, people do not yell at you for no reason. They're complaining about green fucking headbands. Like, a green headband is not against the law. Well, there's something wrong with my mic. Let's see what's wrong with my mic. Always complaining. I think I fixed it. There we go. Y'all should have whined to me about this when I first started and not let me sit for fucking an hour and sound like I'm in a tin can. We won't pay for justice slaughtered! We won't pay for justice slaughtered! It was probably one of those I love chocolate milk headbands or something. What did this idiot say? Nothing in Rhodesia was stolen as there was nothing to steal. Rhodesia was built by the white man. People literally believe this stuff and generously shared with the Negro. Thank you for generously sharing our own stolen products with us. Let's see what Trump has to say to these wounded veterans that got wounded in a place where they never should have been in the first place.
So you guys got hit, huh? Pretty good. You got hit. Pretty good. Amazing.
We're in a pretty tough area in Kandahar, in the Arkansas River Valley.
Right, it's tough.
Kandahar.
Their unit had a more than 50% Purple Heart rate, sir.
Wow.
In 2010.
You deserve it.
This man literally said that. He said that these wounded warriors from Afghanistan that shouldn't have been in Afghanistan in the first place, yeah, they were obviously fucked up. This guy has no legs left. This guy has what looks like one fake leg. And this guy, so my guess is this was an IED. This guy sitting right next to him, he has a fake leg too. So he's got all these double amputees in his office, and he's saying, you guys deserved it. Yay! Congratulations. Fucking imperialist scum. I saw somebody criticizing Kneecap the other day. They were at Coachella, and people were like, oh my God, these guys are so anti-Semitic. And like, no, that's just how Irish socialist Republicans are. And somebody was criticizing them for rapping. Like, look, Gaelic actually lends itself very, very well to rapping. It's a very fluid, melodious language. And it's not like they're rapping about being kids from the hood in Chicago, because they're not. They're kids from Belfast. And that's what they're rapping about. So, like, yeah, I've seen their movie. If you're rapping about shit that you actually know, like shit that you've actually gone through as an Irish kid growing up in Ulster, more power to you. Like, you're not culturally appropriating anything. Culturally appropriating is the shit that Riff Raff used to do. Does anybody remember Riff Raff? Good. This is something that you should remember. burn it into your memory. I believe I mentioned this the other day, but do you think the white American left stood by as the Black Panther Party was destroyed? This is Daruba Ben Rahad, by the way. And Daruba says, yes, he thinks so. The Black Panther Party absorbed the rage and the repression that would have normally been visited on the white left. I mean, every time I read one of those 60s revisited interviews or books where they will go to a 60s radical and they will ask, what was it like? And the white radical might be sitting up in a yuppie bar. You know, he's a corporate executive. This is wild to me. Like, you have Mark Rudd, you have Bernadine Dorn, you have all Ayers and all these other weatherman people and all these other Bob fucking Avakian. He's able to still roam around the world promoting his stupid ass cult. Meantime, Fred Hampton is dead and Assata Shakur is in exile in Cuba. That is supremely unfair. Like, if you're calling yourself part of the revolution, then you should stand up and take the same blows that your black comrades are facing, not hide and then come back and then come back and then, oh, my bad, I just sold my wild oats in my youth. And Daruba goes on to say, meanwhile, you have blacks who are in the grave, who are in prison, who are in exile, and they don't have that privilege of reflecting. Essentially, white America said to their children, all right, you sold your wild oats, you did your thing, now come back into the system. White privilege was always there for them to come back to. I really love how certain left-wing wannabe reactionaries are like, oh yeah, white privilege isn't a thing. No, you literally have a black revolutionary that was in the Black Panther Party saying that white privilege was always there for them to come back to. We never had it. We had nothing to come back to. The system was taking no prisoners, no hostages when it came to repressing us. But when it came to repressing their own children, the really crazy ones, the ones who meant what they said and were really out there, they dealt with them like Maryland Buck or the Ohio 7. But everybody else who was basically bullshitting, they were allowed to come back. So Zoran Mamdani met with Al Sharpton. What is it? Stop having these surgeries, this Ozempic, all this. Like, do you want to look like this? Al Sharpton actually looked healthier when he was a little chunky. Like, now he looks like a bobblehead with a wasting disease. Like, his head is too big for his body. I don't know if they want to go get Costco hot dogs after this, but bro, this is not healthy. This is not healthy. You've met too many hippies who are MAGA head landlords now. That's because hippies were not revolutionary. It was basically white American degeneracy. Let us in, lad. Don't you believe in working class solidarity? I'm literally Irish. And yeah, Remick, the Irish vampire, actually has a southern accent, but he also does a really, really good rendition of Rocky Road to Dublin, along with his fellow vampires.
That will defend our community.
How do you stop ICE? This is how.
We're here at the end.
So a couple weeks ago, there were some cowards who basically turned over their coworker to ICE, and a couple days ago, you had this.
Emergency center where ICE reportedly kidnapped a member of our community and tased them on the street. The people are organized here so that we won't accept this violence, that will defend our community. We're here.
Okay, cool. Defending your community would be a lot more effective if you actually stop these things before people get snatched, but we're getting there. Quit making shit like this. Like, what is the purpose of this? Many criticize him, but under him, anarchists are placed where they belong. Prison camp. Look. If you've been to a protest, if you've been to a militant uprising, if you've been anywhere where struggle is happening, you're going to see anarchists there. Why would you want to put your comrades in a prison camp? Like, you don't even have power to stop people from being snatched up by ICE, which people would agree is a really, really good idea. You don't even have the power to do that, but you're going to talk about putting people in prison camps. Like, this is dividing the unity of the people. Like, I don't think that left theoretical unity is ever going to be a thing, but, yeah. Truman, I thought you were an anarchist. Guess not. Also, if you're a Zionist, quit comparing what you're doing to my people's struggle for liberation. Y'all are not Rosa Parks. Or DSA suck them's also comrades. Well, it depends on the sock dems. Some sock dems are sectarian. Some sock dems don't think that communists have any business in DSA. So, yeah. Those types of sock dems, yeah, we are in the same organization, so technically we're comrades. But would I trust them to have my back if shit pops off and goes south? Absolutely not. But some sock dems are just they just don't know any better, so they have to be educated. But yeah, this shit is shameless. Like, you are not Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks did not have access to uh bombs and planes and drones to murder innocent fucking people. Ice is rolling through. That's Creole on that awning, so my guess is this is a Haitian neighborhood. This is another reason why Ados bullshit is dumb. Like, they're coming after us, and you don't think that they can't tell the difference? They can tell the difference between a Dominican and a Black American, or a Haitian and a Black American, or a Jamaican and a Black American. Like, oh yeah, you lost your accent. You're still from down there, so here you go. Like, they literally almost deported a dude that was born and raised in Philadelphia. They almost deported this dude to Jamaica, a place that he's never ever been to. But yeah, just because your ancestors, all of our ancestors were over here picking cotton, that does not make you any better than any other black person. You don't know what anarchism really is. You should read a book. I'm just fucking with you, Truman. You should get up this STL sometime, though. Oh, this is Jerry Nadler. He spoke at a rally protesting Itamar Ben-Gvir's visit. The fucking names these people have. And how are you protesting against Zionism? Well, he's not protesting against Zionism. He's protesting against hard right Zionism. These are not left wing. These are liberal Zionists that don't like the fact that their blood-stained country, you see the Israeli flags behind them. So they're mad because they think these people are giving Israel a bad name, even though Israel gives Israel a bad name. So he says, we must be crystal clear about who Ben-Gvir is. He is a racist, terrorist, Jewish supremacist bent on enacting Meir Kahan's vision. Meir Kahan, he was the founder of the Jewish Defense League. Pretty shitty organization. They actually tried to roll up on the Black Panthers, and they got their asses beat. So, yeah, like, if you ever wonder why Zionists generally don't roll up on black people, it's because we're not afraid to beat their asses. They only pick on old women and other people that they see as being weak. Ben-Gvir is the insider-in-chief of settler violence in the West Bank. He mentions nothing about Gaza. And I invite my new colleagues to join me in supporting new legislation I will introduce next week to combat all violence, not Zionist violence, all violence in the West Bank in response to the visit. And then Comrade Layla quotes Nerdine Kazwani, who mentions that this is what happens. Mind you, these people are constantly talking about, we feel unsafe in New York. We feel unsafe in New York. We cannot walk down the streets as Jewish people. We cannot walk around Yale's campus as Jewish people. Of course, like, anti-Zionist Jews will tell you this is a lie. Is there anti-Semitism in the United States? Yes. But is it on the same level as anti-blackness or anti-Palestinianism? Absolutely not. So, yeah. This is what happened. These are the people who are afraid to walk around New York. Why are you asking me, Drew? But I'm not an anarchist. I'm a Maoist. And in reality, I would highly recommend Kawasi Balagoon's work. Yeah. I have his book. I believe it's titled The Soldier Story. I have his book on this pile behind me. Also, Ashanti Alston. A lot of the original Black Panthers ended up becoming anarchists. So mind you, these are the people that claim they're afraid to walk around New York. And they're out here attacking innocent people. But again, it's all bullshit. So this is outside of the Shabbat Lubavitcher headquarters in Brooklyn on 770 Eastern Parkway. Isn't that where they do Juve?
Get the fuck out of here! 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 Go!
And these people don't seem very afraid to walk around New York.
Cut it out!
They don't feel very afraid to attack people either. Like if you're afraid to it, like if you're afraid, you don't jump folks in front of the police, bro.
There you go. Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of
You saw that? I want that arrested right now.
These people aren't afraid. They're just playing the victim so that they can continue to try to force their bullshit down people's throats. We do need healthy boundaries. Although I would expand. Look, I love how the comrade included the Bahamas and New Africa. Cuba is its own thing. But I believe the boundaries of New Africa should be expanded all the way up to St. Louis, Chicago, and Washington, D.C. Those are all black cities. Just now, this was yesterday, the FBI arrested Judge Hannah Duggan out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin on charges of obstruction after evidence of Judge Duggan. Okay, so they're arresting judges now. If they're arresting judges, like they literally arrested this lady with her judicial robes on, that's a sign that these people do not give a fuck about the law. So if you are dealing with people who do not give a fuck about the law, who are not afraid to arrest whole ass judges, then you might want to avoid relying strictly on the law. Because when you do that, you are you're making an ass out of yourself, and you are doing the fuck did I just click? You are you're doing a disservice to the movement that you claim to represent. That's no good. So yeah, they arrested her and charged her, a circuit judge in Milwaukee County, with 2 felonies on allegations of trying to help an undocumented immigrant avoid arrest after he appeared in a courtroom. So according to a 13-page complaint, she is accused of obstructing a U.S. agency and concealing an individual to prevent an arrest. These charges carry a maximum penalty of 6 years in prison and a $350,000 fine. Specifically, the complaint says Duggan assisted Eduardo Flores Ruiz, an undocumented Mexican immigrant, avoiding being arrested by federal immigration officials at the Milwaukee County Courthouse after he appeared in a courtroom for a pretrial conference on April 18th. Flores Ruiz is facing 3 misdemeanor battery counts. Of course it's unfair. We live in an unfair country. These people do not give a fuck. They don't care. I really, really like this art aesthetic. Anthropomorphic panthers. I guess, yeah, I guess we could say that my first persona is a panther. These people should not feel free to just come up on like imagine if this was you as a woman, how you would fucking feel. These people are obsessed. Why are these people obsessed with rape?
There's some weird Palestinian. Is that you? You want someone to bend you over and fucking rape you like they're doing in the...
Like, bruh, if you... These are the same people that are claiming that claim that Palestinian men basically went on a rape fest on October 7th. Of course, we knew at the time that did not happen. People, liberal Zionists, and even some people who call themselves left-wing kept trying to portray this as something that actually happened, but there were no rapes on October 7th. These people have demonstrably, like these Zionists have demonstrably carried out acts of rape against both Palestinian men and women. And there's no calls for inquiry. There's no calls for nothing. The United States does not care.
Jews in fucking Palestine.
Like, we have to defend our comrades. Like, nobody should feel comfortable able to run up on us like this and just talk to women this way. These are people who have never been hit in their fucking lives. Let's hear some Du Bois. A lot of people have talked about the white working class. Let's see. What did Du Bois say about the white working class? He said, the opportunity for real and new democracy in America was broad. Political power at first as usual confined to property holders and an aristocracy of birth and learning, but it was never securely based on land. Land was free, and both land and property were possible to nearly every thrifty worker. Schools began early to multiply and open their doors even to the poor laborer. Birth began to count for less and less, and America came to the world a land of opportunity for white people. So the world came to America even before the Revolution and afterwards. During the 19th century, 19 million immigrants entered the United States. The new labor that came to the United States, while it was poor, used to oppression, and accustomed to a low standard of living, was not willing, after it reached America, to regard itself as a permanent laboring class. This is important. These people did not consider themselves a proletariat. Their consciousness was not proletariat. Their consciousness was, as Upton Sinclair would say, temporarily embarrassed millionaires. They thought that they were going to be rich in a generation or two. They did not regard themselves as a permanent laboring class. They figured that was black work. That's why Sakai said that black people were basically the original proletariat of this country. And it is within the light of this fact that the labor movement among white Americans must be studied. The successful, well-paid American laboring class formed, I believe it was Upton Sinclair. I don't know my white early 20th century socialists all that well, because of its property and ideals of petty bourgeoisie ready always to join capital in exploiting common labor, white and black, foreign and native. The more energetic and thrifty among the immigrants caught the prevalent American idea that here labor could become emancipated from the necessity of continuous toil, and that an increasing proportion could join the class of exploiters, that is, of those who made their income chiefly by profit derived through the hiring of labor. So if there's anything you want to know about the historical white working class of this country, it's that it has always wanted to be the boss. It has never wanted to be the bossed. And while we're talking about all this shit, your government, your White House, is making Far Cry cutscenes.
People in our country illegally can self-deport the easy way, or they can get deported the hard way, and that...
Leave now. If you don't, we will find you, and we will deport you. You will never
Entering this country illegally is a crime, and we're not going to forgive it.
If you cross the border, your chances of being apprehended are much greater. And if you are apprehended, you're going to be removed from the country.
Take me home to the place I belong.
People in our country illegally...
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, these people think it's a fucking joke. And why wouldn't they think it's a fucking joke? I mean, we're treating it like it's a fucking joke. So, I helped launch a Maoist caucus in DSA. Why? Because fuck you, that's why. No, seriously, there's no better time for it. And a lot of people have a lot of misconceptions about Maoism. But no, we do not want to turn the entire DSA organization into happy little red guards during loyalty dances at convention. So what are our points of unity in DSA Liberation Caucus? Well, 1, we are Marxist-Leninist Maoists. 2, we support a revolutionary theory of change. The Marxist-Leninist Maoist theory of change, and thus that of DSA liberation, is revolutionary. While we do not fundamentally oppose participation in reformist struggles, our engagement in these activities should be to expose the ruling class, which steals our wealth and robs us of our happiness. Concessions are not given freely by the ruling class. They are extracted through vicious, bitter struggle. Many in DSA orient towards the middle class, union bureaucrats, and Democratic Party workers. This is a fundamentally rightist orientation, as the organization will, as a result, reflect the interests of the professional middle class. Instead, our orientation should be towards the proletariat, the colonized, the masses of queer workers, working class students, the undocumented, prisoners, and other militants who have no stake in the system and work for its end. Towards a party of a new type, democratic centralism is a necessity for any revolutionary movement that hopes to win. It is an organizational method by which the masses of the Workers' Party participate in a truly democratic process, freely debating and struggling over the political line and methods to implement it, and then abiding by the decision reached after engaging in a vote, even if individual members disagree. For the eradication of chauvinism, this is extremely important. A socialist organization of our size and with our democratic composition will undoubtedly have chauvinism of various sorts, with the main manifestations being white chauvinism and male chauvinism. Many non-white and non-male comrades have expressed dismay at the behavior of many of our white and our male comrades in DSA spaces. The only way to address this inexcusable behavior is to orient ourselves and actively recruit non-white and our male comrades and encourage them to seize positions of leadership within the organization. In a socialist organization which is supposedly oriented around the needs and political power of the entire working class, the fact that much power is still in the hands of white, male, professional, managerial class comrades is proof that we still have much work to do. Ignorance of non-white and women revolutionary theoreticians such as Frantz Fanon, Adrada Gandhi, Chairman Mao, Ho Chi Minh, and Jose Maria Sison is a key manifestation of this chauvinist tendency. In short, you have to do the fucking reading. The settler-colonial contradiction is the primary contradiction. The United States is a settler colony. It is not a nation. It is a prison house of nations, with the European-American nation generally being the jailer. Many comrades commit errors of line and practice because they fail to take this into account, making endless allusions to the multinational working class and flattening the contradictions derived from settler colonialism. This is a disservice to our black, indigenous, and Latina comrades, and a major reason why many do not flock to our organization. Liberation will only come when the prison house of nations is broken open. We support national liberation for all colonized people in the United States. Socialism is the rule of the working class. Socialism is not a series of reforms, nor is it a party calling itself communist in power, allowing billionaires to exploit the people while calling themselves red experts. As Maoists, we recognize that the class struggle continues during the socialist period, and working class revolutionaries must be vigilant about both old and new bourgeois elements that will destroy the revolution and cast the working class back into slavery. Nationalization of industries and utilities is a key part of socialism, but equally important is shifting the relations of production in a communist direction. The party apparatus must continue to submerge itself in the masses and build communist structures while also forestalling the rise of a new bureaucratic capitalist class, as happened in the USSR and the People's Republic of China. And finally, we are unequivocally anti-imperialist. Communists in the imperial core have as our main duty the destruction of the imperialist system, which makes life for our class siblings around the world a living hell. DSA has historically wavered on questions of anti-imperialism, most recently around the question of Palestinian self-determination and national liberation. The time for such wavering is over. Our goal is to ensure that DSA takes firm stances in word and in deed against imperialism. So that's essentially the founding line. What if you're a Maoist? Then you should join DSA Liberation Caucus. We're opening applications back up sometime this summer, maybe early June. But also look out for study groups and a variety of other stuff that comrades can participate in to learn more about how to apply and practice Maoism. Anyways, drop link to what? There's a lot of links. You want the link to the Points of Unity? Also, I keep telling people this, but people keep doing this. Do not join DSA just to join a fucking caucus, even if it is the one that I helped found. Do not. Okay? Do not join DSA just to join a caucus. You should join DSA to help build socialism. If you think that helping to build socialism is part of, includes being in a caucus, then by all means. But there's our contact info. We have a Twitter, and we have an email, dsaliberationscaucus@email.com. So if you want to link up, if you want to do something together, if you want us to co-sponsor a resolution, by all means, hit us up. Anyways, I have to get ready to go entertain